5 points, including this, his third goal.
Can get it. It'll be one man back or one man forechecking softly and 4 men back. Keep an eye for it because it can be boring. If they get a lead, they're dangerous. If they don't, they're very, very patient.
The puck goes up into the screen. We get a stoppage in play. And Wayne Fleming, coach of Team Canada, has done some line juggling, so we'll keep an eye on the new lines as this game progresses. Draper now comes out with Murray and Wes Walz. Roberto Luongo broke a finger the other day against Switzerland. He has gone home. Dan Cloutier will be arriving tomorrow. Fred Brathwaite in goal tonight for Canada. Brathwaite is the best goals against average in this tournament at .77. Redden drops it back for Brad Stewart. Stewart to center. The pass was in behind Walls. After it goes Rem Murray. Knocked into the center ice area by Cotton. And across the line now for Malling. Long shot kicked away by Brathwaite. But it was called on the offside. And the linesmen, I imagine, will have their work cut out for them tonight, trying to get those whistles extra loud so the players can hear the calls.
Well, if in doubt, keep playing, and the Germans did that. What they didn't do was make that attack onside. As we've mentioned a couple of times over the last week, you don't want to be close in either penalties or offsides here, because if in doubt, the referees blow the whistle.
Goldman fires it in. Jason Smith on the far side. Walls for Rem Murray. Walls gets hooked. There's going to be a penalty. Now Walls gets taken down. Marco Sturm is going to draw the game's first penalty. It's going to be interference as the Swedish referee makes the first call. Ulf Radger. Marco Sturm not that happy with the call, but he was getting it earlier at center, and then he finished the job by completely taking Walls down.
Well, Sturm is a little bit hot under the collar as we get a look at Walls going down, and I'm sure that is an extension of his frustration last night against Italy. He had was the recipient of a check that could have hurt him, and for most of the third period he was off his game chasing the Italians, trying to gain some retribution for that.
Chitteroni, who had been suspended for a dirty check, or what the referee felt was a dirty check against the Russians earlier. Marco Sturm felt that he went after his knee, got up and went after Chitteroni. And a great game here this afternoon between Russia and Czechoslovakia. A lot of emotion in that game. Here comes Ryan Smith on the Canadian power play. Cross the line with Richards and LeCavalier. The shot is blocked. Richards will get it in the corner. For Morris at the right point to the left point to Wade Redden. He'll send it into the corner. Hustling across is Jordan Mayer. And Mayer will send it all the way down the ice. Brathwaite will play it off the corner boards and leave it for Derek Morris.
The Germans will be very, very disciplined. If Canada moves the puck quickly, they will open up shots. If not, there will be few scoring opportunities. Morris ices the puck.
They call that icing, so the face-off will come back.
Well, Canada's scoring has been really, really spread out, and when you've got 12 different players scoring goals in all 4 of your victories, it makes things a lot easier for your team to win hockey games. Pretty difficult for any coach to decide which line he's going to check or which player he's going to check. And because Canada's got 12 different guys on the score sheet in goals, and just as many, if not more, in assists, a nice balanced attack for the Canadians.
Brad Stewart leads the attack. This time, the Canadian defenseman will get across the red line and hammers it in. Hustling after it is Thornton, knocks it loose for Isbister. For Stewart to Brewer, redirects it to the side of the net, right through the crease, and unable to get a stick on it was Isbister. Sullivan lets it go for Isbister. He'll try to chip it back to Sullivan. Sullivan tried to block it. It comes back to Stewart at the line. Shot wide of the short side, and it's cleared into the center ice area. Here now's a break for Sacchio. Sacchio into the slot, and a good defensive job by Brad Stewart to prevent Sacchio from getting a shot away. Kreutzer's tied up in the corner, and Stewart gets the puck. And the crowd appreciative of the penalty-killing job done so far by this German squad. Thornton across the line. In behind the net looking for Sullivan. Goldman gets there first, but pinching it from the line is Kyle McLaren. Penalty has expired. Isbister's after a bouncing puck. Spins, fires it on goal, and that's wide of the short side. Christian Kunist In goal for Germany tonight, Sullivan. At the line for Robidas. He does keep it in. Round the boards now. It's up on the dasher board. Jeff Friesen watches it come down. They tie it up in the corner. Puck does come loose, and it's onto the stick of Marco Sturm. Sturm one-on-one on Robidas, looks for support. Loth is up on the play. Robidas takes him down. That gets the crowd going. Loth at center. Now he takes a shot from Friesen, and Kyle McLaren takes the puck in behind his own goal. McLaren for Robidas off his stick. Mayer crosses the red line, sends it back in wide of Fred Brathwaite. Patrick Marleau for Team Canada. Marleau tries to pull away from the checking of Abstrater. Rumrick steals. Right side, there comes the shot off the stick of Cotton. Down the ice, this is going to be icing. And the faceoff will come all the way back. No score, Canada, Germany. From Hanover, Germany, this is Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
We didn't get it.
Jason Smith bumping with Rumrick, the captain of this German team. Into the neutral zone it comes, and Malling will send it right back in, and he'll take a bump from Draper offside as Jan Benda in ahead of the play.
Well, Germany's offense has not been terribly great so far in this tournament. With the exception of a 3-1 win over the Swiss, they've really struggled to score goals. That game a week ago in Cologne, 18,500 people in a sold-out building, really was an emotional lift for the Germans, but they haven't regained the same stature since those 7 days have passed, with the exception perhaps of the start of this game against Canada.
They have only scored one goal in the 2 games here in Hanover. They won 3-1 and tied 2-2 in Cologne in their first 2 games, then switched over to Hanover. They were shut out by Belarus in their first game here, and then lost 3-1 to Italy last night. Wes Walz after a puck in behind the net with Ludeman. Comes loose. Draper in for Walz. Walz tight turns to try get away from Ludeman. Rem Murray runs some interference. Draper gets the shot. Bouncing puck off the backboards is grabbed by Kunist, and he'll hang on to it.
Well, there's a look at Kreisach Arena. 10,500 people in here. The number of seats in this 14,000 and change seat building are used up by press corps and other dignitaries. There are more German flags here than there are bratwurst right now, and they are flying. The general adage is, if you're not on your feet, you're not a fan. And so the fans are on their feet most of this game. The songs keep going. I don't know how or why the words fit together, but they can sing longer than you can hum Stairway to Heaven, Dennis.
Back to the line it comes. But can they go longer than I can sing the hockey song?
Well, I did say you sound awfully good.
We get the hockey song pretty much before every game here. Unfortunately, it is not Stomping Tom Connor's version, though. And that's a bit of a disappointment. Brathwaite will leave it for Wade Redden. Too far for Stewart, too far for Ryan Smith. And another icing call against Canada. The face-off will come back one more time.
Well, this German squad is made up, as you would guess, mostly from players in the German Elite League. There are 6 players from the Kassel Huskies, of which coach Hans Zach is the leader of. In addition to that, 4 from Shawinigan, and then an assortment from some of the other teams, a couple from the winners in the DEL League this year, Mannheim, 1 from Finland, that's Bendel, and Marco Sturm.
Both these teams young, averaging 23 years of age. Kyle McLaren for Stefan Robidas. Diagonal shoot-ins. After it is Sullivan. Couldn't get there. Back to the line, Kyle McLaren, who has not been on the ice for an even strength goal against for Canada. On the left side, there comes the shot that is blocked, as hammering that was Abstrater. Derek Morris banks it off the boards, looking for Sullivan too far, and before Sullivan catches up to it, it crosses the red line, and icing will it be the call against Canada, and the Canadian contingent guilty of a number of icings as they try to stretch that German squad out.
Well, Wayne Fleming has had lots of experience coaching in Europe, coached in Sweden for a couple of years. He's been throughout Europe with Hockey Canada and now the Canadian Hockey Association. And a lot of that experience is showing off in how he's coached this hockey club and the success they've had so far to date.
And Wayne Fleming's assignment here is not just to coach the Canadian squad. He is also one of the coaches for the Canadian Olympic team, so he is keeping a very close eye on all the other teams and getting some advanced scouting done. And I'm sure a number of the other members of the Canadian contingent doing the same thing. Jeff Friesen, some good work in the corner. Gets it loose. Friesen looks for an open man, can't find one, swings it back for Scott Walker. Walker gets tied up in the corner. Marleau comes up with the loose puck. Marleau finds some space, lets the shot go, and a good right pad save by Kunist as he got that right leg out in a hurry. Jan Benda, former OHL player, to the line. He can shoot it, and he got some room there and hammered it in on Brathwaite, and Brathwaite makes a good stop. Jan Benda can shoot the puck. Played for the Oshawa Generals from 90 to 92. Walker sends it in, intercepted by Mayers. It was intended for Rem Murray. Mayer in on the left side. Both teams are now changing. Brathwaite stops it, and Stefan Robidoux will feed it ahead for Draper. Some room on the right side. Chris Cross is at the line with Walls, and the puck skirts away. That will be offside. Marco Sturm tracks the puck down, and we get a stoppage in play. You're watching Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
To you, Canada. Here's to your hockey hair, your long underwear and multicolored money. Here's to saying please, your ducks and geese, and to always being funny. Here's to your pretty girls, your black-collared squirrels, and a flag that stands so free. Here's to different races from different places who love this country, like me. But most of all, here's to standing tall and saying it like a true Acadian. I love this land, I love this country, and I am Canadian. Cheers!
Direction? He said right, and then he said left. That's the building.
Is it?
Can you photo?
Introducing the Kodak Advantix preview camera.
Push the button right there. Where's my head?
It's the
Game 5, Raps and Knicks. Alvin Williams had 18 points as the Raptors win their first ever playoff series.
Welcome back to Hanover, the 2001 World Championships. Dennis Bayak with you, and along with us, Jim Poplinski, an Atlanta draft pick in 1979. 11 seasons with the Calgary Flames, a Stanley Cup in 89, an Olympian in 88, and affectionately known here in Hanover, Germany as Hep. Which is...
You figured out one German word,
Well,
pepper. Pepper.
All right, pepper.
Now you're trying to embarrass me.
Bodies flying in front of the Canadian bench. Wes Walls on the right side leads the rush. Brewer goes to the net. Walls the shot, and the save on the short side by Kunist. Draper fights for it behind the net. It comes loose. After it is Walls. He gets cross-checked into the corner. No call. The referee has let them play somewhat. Here in the opening period, Ryan Smith charges into the pile. Ryan Smith comes up with it. That's not really a surprise. He usually does. Smith is taken down by Eric Goldman in behind the net. Those two continue a major league battle for the puck. Walls comes up with it. He's going to try and stuff it. Kunist is down. The puck is loose for Draper. Spins, fires wide of the short side, and then McLaren gets knocked down as he tried to join the rush. Kreutzer leads it back for Germany. Kreutzer tries to jam it on the short side, and he cannot get it to go. Ryan Smith battles for it in the corner. He gets all wrapped up by Marcel Gotch. And Morris is in there. They're going to get a stoppage in play. Finally, the whistle does go, and play is halted.
You get a look at Gotch with the full face mask. There's a reason for that. He's 18 years of age, and he has to wear a full shield. Brewer after that big hit, and then Murray, two different age categories. And the requirements are different as we see Draper doing a nice job stuck on defense. Gotch as well. pretty good chance will be a first-round pick, one of Germany's up-and-coming, very young stars.
So we had a look at all the recommendations, all the rules there. Ryan Smith, the captain of the Canadian team, limps his way to the Canadian bench after blocking a shot. Saw Gotch wearing the full face shield, Eric Brewer with the half shield, and Rem Murray, because of his age, has a choice of wearing something or nothing on his helmet.
I think on the German squad, there's only one player that doesn't wear some sort of face protection now. And with juniors all wearing masks for some years, that will in all likelihood be a trend that will carry on with improved protection. The downside, a lot tougher to identify players.
Face-off will be to the left of Fred Brathwaite. He'll face off Sacchio and Sullivan, and it's picked up by Derek Morris. Out to center, cleared in by Richards, looking for Sullivan. It was behind him. Sacchio with LeCavalier all over him. Sacchio pulls away. Pass fails to materialize, and now Sacchio and Derek Morris bump in the center ice area. Rem Murray comes across, can't clear it into the German zone, and Kyle McLaren will retreat. No score. Opening period. LeCavalier tries to get around Loth, unable to, and as it's carried in by Derek Morris, offside against Canada.
Well, Jan Benda is quite a story around here. He's had the opportunity to go play in different places in Europe and make a lot more dough than he has made, but he's taken the choice at times to go and play in the minors because his wish is to play in the National Hockey League at some time. There's a pretty good chance now as he gets older that wish is not going to be realized, and so the Germans are hoping that he does play in the DEL this year. He played in Finland last year. He's got a big shot. You've mentioned it a couple of times, Dennis. Particularly if the Germans get a power play, you'll see him unloading lots.
His resume has him playing in Canada, Germany, the Czech Republic, Finland, and U.S. Wade Redden for Sullivan. Off the backboards. It is Malling bumping there, along with Thornton into the center ice area. Redden breaks it up. Thornton now to Sullivan. Sullivan across the line. Shot on the right side is gloved by the netminder Kunist. A little pushing and shoving at the side of the German goal. No score. You're watching Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
But enough about fun and laughter. Guys, let's not forget there's a lot of hard thinking that goes into every bottle of this stuff. Let me explain. You see, most beers are split between those which are full-bodied and those which are easy to drink. Molson Export's different. It may have depth of taste, but it also goes down easy. It's all about balance.
Sorry I'm late, guys.
Hey, women's buttocks.
Yeah.
Good eye.
Yeah. Forget it.
Sometimes you look me so highly. You make me feel like a strong man. But now you're looking me over. 'Cause I'm a man and you know how to watch.
Look with moderation. Tissot, hypnotic suggestion.
Marlowe for Jason Smith. He's watched by Rumrick. Bounces it in on the netminder. Stopped and left for Goldman, and then Goldman, not sure if he wanted to pick it up, so it is held for the faceoff by Kunist.
Canada will have to do a lot more of that because the Germans line up so well. The German goaltending situation is not great because German teams in the DEL allow a number of imports, and many times those imports are goaltenders. As a result, there's not a bunch of young German goalies that have had a lot of experience.
Eric Brewer gets that shot through from the point. Save made. And then Brewer gets his glove on the clearing attempt. It deflects into the German bench. Jim, you made the point right off the bat that Germany was not going to go to the offensive. They were going to try and play a defensive game, and we have certainly seen that.
You bet. Brewer great at getting the puck through. He's got a hard shot when he wants to, but to take a bit off and get it through is much more important. The guy that's mastered that perfectly in the National Hockey League is Al MacInnis. He's got a cannon when he wants it and when he has the time to get it off, but if he's pressured and he has to get the puck through, 98 times of 100 he does.
What a playoff Eric Brewer had. There's a long shot from Marco Sturm off the glove of Fred Brathwaite and wide in the corner. Coming across is Draper to take Marco Sturm into the corner boards. Battle for the puck continues. Kreutzer now tied up by Brewer. Brewer averaged just under 28 minutes of ice time against Dallas. Brewer a little over aggressive, and he's going to get called for it. Jason Smith touches the puck, and Eric Brewer is going to go to the box for roughing, and Germany will get its first power play of the game.
Well, here's a look at the penalty. I'm not sure I'd be giving anybody 2 for that. Brewer doing a nice job in finishing off the check. There's the long shot by Sturm that sneaks by Brathwaite, finds its way out of the glove. Canada's penalty killing has been pretty strong. You'll get another look at that. Whoops. 89%, almost 90%, only 3 goals against so far. And those have been negated in many ways by the 3 shorthanded goals that Canada has scored when they have been killing penalties.
You look at the lineup, 23 shorthanded goals in this Canadian roster. If you look at the NHL stats from this past season. Saccio. Cross ice for Seidenberg. Seidenberg's shot doesn't get through. Saccio now for Hines and back for Saccio. Works it to the top of the circle. Saccio down low for Hines. Hines bans on his pass, watched by Kyle McLaren. A couple of Memorial Cups for Hines with the Medicine Hat Tigers. Saccio down for Hines, to the line it comes to Seidenberg. Here comes the shot, right on, rebound, score! Wayne Hines.
Well, Hans Zuck is very, very happy about that. Wayne Hines perfectly positioned in the slot. Denny, we talked about how the German power play works. Nothing fancy. Get it back to the point and let her go. You see Benda over to the left. He's waiting for the shot. Most of the time it comes from him. Hines finds the seam, and on a rebound with Brathwaite down, he goes right to the roof. There's a great stop by Brathwaite with his right leg, but over to the other side and to the shelf gives Germany a 1-0 lead. And this crowd is getting into the game more, if that was possible.
Just to finish the comment on Hines, 1987 a Memorial Cup with Medicine Hat, 1988 a Memorial Cup with Medicine Hat, but with 2 different coaches, Brian Maxwell the first year and Barry Melrose the second year. Across the line for Robidaw, across the red line, and in it goes.
A little bit of Canadian history with the Hines family as well. Hines' brother Gord has played with the national team, also played with Philadelphia and Boston. I wonder if he's watching this hockey game somewhere.
Out to center ice for Cutton. He'll leave it at the line, and it's fired in by Schmazel. Brathwaite will stop and leave it for Wade Redden. So as we saw in the game yesterday, Canada falling behind by a score of 1-0, and again it's a power play goal that gets the opposition on the scoreboard. There's a shot from a sharp angle that goes over top the net. It was Steinegger getting Switzerland on the board with a power play goal in the first period yesterday before Canada came back with 2 quick ones to take the lead, and then they never looked back. Sullivan sends it in, hustles after it, tied up by Goldman. 1 NHL game for Goldman now with the Ottawa Senators. Long shot, Brathwaite to save, rebound, that doesn't get to the net. Thornton has Sullivan on the right side. Off Sullivan's stick, cleared away by Ludeman, but Thornton follows up. Thornton, and the crowd reacts as McLaren takes a man down in behind the play. Derek Morris, cross ice for Kyle McLaren, in for Sullivan. Sullivan in on the right side. Sullivan around the net. Centers as Bister jams it through the crease. We have not seen Ryan Smith return since blocking a shot. Big hit by Kyle McLaren, but he's going to get called. Another power play coming up from Hanover, Germany. This is Molson World Championship Hockey on the Score.
I know, you practically live here. The odometer even says so. Well, maybe it's time for a little homeowner's insurance. Unless you prefer spending time with used car salesmen. Look, the solution's clear. New Quaker State higher mileage engine for engines with 120,000 kilometers or more. It's specially formulated to help prevent leaks, oil consumption, and loss of compression. So if you don't want to stop at 120,000 kilometers, then don't. New Quaker State higher mileage engine. What more do you need to know?
Last night, Kings and Avs Game 5. Luc Robitaille with the only goal. The Kings are still alive. Game 6 on Sunday.
Face off to the left of Brathwaite. Benda and Seidenberg, the point men on the power play, and Benda is the guy they try to get the puck to. Saccio for Hines into the crease. It's grabbed by Brathwaite. He'll hang on, and then Hines gets decked at the side of the net by Brewer. It almost appears as though Hans Zach, the coach, has changed up his power play a little bit. They're trying to jam it into the crease a lot more than we saw in the two previous games that they have played here in Hanover. Draper wins the face-off. Jason Smith up on the boards to Patrick Marleau. Marleau back for Draper. He stops it, the neutral zone, jammed up on the far side, kicks it back to Jason Smith. He'll waste a couple of seconds and then sends it all the way down the ice. McLaren for tripping the penalty. This is the second power play opportunity for Germany. Almost busting through was the captain, Rumrick. Cleared to the line by Marleau, but not out. Kept in by Seidenberg. Brewer's taken to the backboards, but gets the puck across to Jason Smith. And Jason Smith will bounce this down, forcing Germany to go back and set up on the power play. Dennis Seidenberg will start the rush. Watched by Walker, turn over to Rem Murray. Rem Murray gets tripped up on the play by Seidenberg, sends it deep. Walker is after it. He'll send it all the way back into his own zone for Redden. Walker with a power play goal, a shorthanded goal, and an even strength goal so far in this tournament. He's hit for the cycle. Cross ice for Ryan Smith. There he is, back on. Fires it wide of the short side. Walker goes after it. Back for Ryan Smith. In behind the net, Smith goes down, maintained control for a split second. And now the German power play gets going. Kreutzer in for Daffner. Daffner tried to get it to the side of the net for Marco Sturm and couldn't. Sturm now to the line, cross ice to Ludeman. His shot goes over top as he blasted a rolling puck high. Getting knocked down on the far side was Walker, and Wade Redden will get the puck and he'll send it the length of the ice.
Boy, what a nice play by Redden. Deep in his zone. A nice little flick of the wrist, and it's up 12 feet high over the blue line. No one's going to stop that. Al McNeil would be proud of any defenseman that could do that maneuver.
Kyle McLaren back out, Walls in for Draper, close at the line, but they whistle it down. And we'll get a stoppage. Games this afternoon, United States over Finland 4-1, and the Czech Republic over Russia 4-3 in a game we watched this afternoon. It was a great game.
You bet.
There's the opportunity for Ludeman, and the shot that flutters over top of Fred Brathwaite's right arm.
Well, once again, the Germans just get that puck back to the point. They do jam the net. Their power play is very, very simple, as is the rest of their game, and it will get more disciplined now with 2.5 minutes left in this first period and a lead. You think that they were hanging back before. They'll do it more now that they've got one up on Canada.
Isbister behind the net for Sullivan. Sullivan with Mayer in pursuit. Sullivan finds Joe Thornton. Thornton battles forward on the far side with Abstrader. Isbister is there. Thornton is there. Thornton knocks his man down. A centering pass. As coming in from the left point was Stewart. It's caught and thrown down the ice.
Well, the Germans have had a real tough time the last few years. They're back into the A pool for the 2002 Olympics in Salt Lake. You see that in in the World Championships they've hosted and been involved in. But since 1998, some turmoil here in German hockey to wrestle the country back into a competitive position. And Zoc has really taken it upon himself to make that happen. And it looks, based on this World Championships, that there's been some real positive strides over the last couple of years here in Germany.
And he is a bit of a different coach, a major league disciplinarian from what we understand. LeCavalier in the corner. Leaves it for Brad Richards. Richards can't get anywhere. More pushing and shoving in the corner. Some emotion in this game. And they'll jam it up along the boards down by the German bench. And we get a stoppage in play.
Now, not dwelling on the rules too much, but you see Hines without a helmet. If he gets into the play there, he's got a problem. As we saw with Tverdovsky, I think, Denny, he dropped his helmet against the Canadians and ended up negating a penalty that
would have been a two-man advantage.
Would have been a two-man advantage, you bet. Well, Renz, without his helmet there, I'm not sure what the referee considers being in the play, but Renz was poking and moving along the boards, but changed very quickly and I guess didn't touch the puck.
Stewart, a shot that goes off the side of the net. LeCavalier tries the wraparound. Richards is in front. Couldn't control the centering pass from LeCavalier. Ryan Smith gets stopped at the side of the goal, and they are calling it a glove pass. Faceoff will come outside the line.
Well, there's some heavy going now as Germany really starts to get close and hook and hold. A nice flip. Once again, Canada doing a nice job in getting the puck through to the net. LeCavalier right on the side. He's dangerous because of his big reach. He can be standing with his rear end against the boards and still reach around in front and tuck it in. You see him attempting to do just that.
Marleau between Friesen and Walker. Marleau, the youngest player in the National Hockey League in the 1997-98 season. Marco Sturm, a teammate of Marleau's in San Jose, takes the puck and carries behind the net.
I don't know who spotted that Marleau Jr., but the guy must have been pretty bright to get him on his squad and nurture him to the status he's at. Denny, where did he?
I couldn't agree with you anymore, especially with the drafting. I couldn't talk about the nurturing because I left Tri-Cities as he became a scoring sensation in the Western Hockey League, but I was with Seattle when we drafted him.
And clearly you built the foundation. You built the foundation for that.
Keep going, keep going. I'll just be quiet.
I'm out of notes that you've given me.
Can't read you writing. Here comes Stewart in on the left side, taken into the corner boards by Mayer. After it goes Marleau. Mayer hustles after him. The loose puck for Friesen. Friesen back to the line for Stewart. We're having trouble seeing that corner because all the fans are standing. Jammed into the crease area. Eric Brewer's in from the line. Time running down. 20 seconds in front for Friesen. One shot, another shot. They jam at it on the short side. Friesen out of the pile. And play whistle down. I think the net has come off the peg. Or has it? Play whistle down. The Canadians not very happy. In behind the play, we have Daniel Kreutzer and Brad Stewart doing some pushing and shoving.
Take a look here as Friesen is looking for a hole. Patient, patient, patient. We're not going to see it from this angle. We do see the nice save there. But Friesen has got the puck right about this time, and he's out in front to the right of your screen, looking for some air between where the puck was on the ice and the mesh awaited, but he couldn't find it, and the referee blew that one down. I'm not sure why yet.
I agree. I don't know either. We thought the net may have come off the peg, but as we saw in the replay, it did not, and I think that's the answer that Ryan Smith would like to hear now.
Rumrick and Smith getting an explanation before the game. I'll have to ask Ryan later, but he had quite a lengthy conversation with the referee. Not sure what it was regarding, but he gets another moment of time for discussion on the stoppage of this play.
Both penalty box doors are open, but so far Stewart has not made, now there he goes, any effort to go to the penalty box.
Well, every once in a while you can sneak into your own box and they forget about you. Not that time, Brad Stewart. The pride of Rocky Mountain House ends up with a 2-minute coincidental minor with his German counterpart.
So some 4-on-4 to end this period.
2 minutes on sports.
And start the next period. Here comes Derek Morris. He'll flip it in. As the first period comes to an end, and they are happy here at the Proisek Arena as the home team in front by a score of 1-0 on a power play goal by Wayne Hines, as we send you back to Steve Cooley's.
Thank you very much, Dennis. That's right, Germany leading by a score of 1-0. And welcome back to our first intermission report. I'm Steve Cooley with Gord Stellick and Chris King. And guys, for the first time in this tournament, this is the 5th game for Canada. It's the first time that they have taken a deficit really into the room.
Well, yeah, they had trailed once before against Switzerland, but Canada came back for 2 quick goals to go into the room with the lead. But Germany's played pretty meticulous. They sat back. They didn't come out over aggressive because of the fans. They took only 1 penalty, but they played the kind of period that they wanted to play. And Canada started to press there at the end, and they're going to have to continue to press to get back even and hopefully take the lead here.
I think the Germans came out really the philosophy about that, look, we may lose to Canada, but we're not going to beat ourselves. And that's the way they played the first 20 minutes. And Canada didn't play their A game. So in the case for Germany, the way they played was good enough. They didn't give up a ton of scoring chances. They actually had a couple of themselves. And like Chris mentioned, I really thought the momentum changed in the final 2 or 3 minutes. And had that coincidental penalties not been called, Canada might have tied it up in the waning seconds. So they have to start off the second period the way they finished the final 2 or 3 minutes of the first.
Time now for our play of the period, and it's the only goal of the period, and it came on the power play. Wayne Hines getting the Germans on the board.
To the line, it comes to Seidenberg. There comes the shot, right on, rebound, score! Wayne Hines.
Play of the period is brought to you by AMJ Campbell. Proud to be the official mover of Canada's Olympic teams.
And for Wayne Hines, that was his first goal of the tournament and only the 7th the Germans have scored so far at the World Hockey Championship. Time for a break. Still lots more to come on our first intermission report. We'll get Gord and Chris's reaction to the hockey game so far. Canada almost tied it late in the frame, but it was not to be. But still, lots of hockey left.
I like to stay active. That's why I use Mennen Speed Stick Clear Stick. New Clear Stick antiperspirant goes on dry and clear, not wet and sticky. With 24-hour protection, I don't have to worry about a thing, except surviving the next workout.
Did you ever see that movie, You've Got Mail? Where this guy and girl fall in love emailing each other a bunch of times? Anyway, they finally meet face to face, and there's this big romantic kiss. Do you know the movie I'm talking about? Did you ever see that one? Well, this guy didn't. Ford F-Series Super Duty. Built Ford tough.
Wow, Bret Hart.
Hey, give me an extra large pizza with pepperoni, mushrooms, and extra cheese.
Hey, Hitman, how about a second extra large for only a toonie?
Yeah, I want to crack the cardboard.
You can win over $1 million in prizes. Order any 3-topping pizza at regular price. Get the second same-size pizza for a toonie and your chance to win.
Crack the cardboard with Pizza, Ontario's #1. Just tell them the Hitman sent you.
I like to stay active. That's why I use Mennen Speed Stick Clear Stick. New Clear Stick antiperspirant goes on dry and clear, not wet and sticky. With 24-hour protection, I don't have to worry about a thing, except surviving the next workout.
The first period summary is brought to you by Mennen Speed Stick for tough protection 24 hours a day.
Welcome back. Time for our first period summary. Only one goal in that opening frame. Wayne Hines, who was born in Montreal and has played a lot of hockey overseas, gets his first of the tournament to make it a 1-0 game. Freddie Brathwaite has allowed 3 goals in this tournament. 2 of which have come on the power play. Lots to talk about here in our first intermission report. I'm Steve Cooley with Gord Stellick and Chris King. When we talk about international hockey, sometimes we forget the rules are different and you have to approach the game in a different manner. Sometimes the players have to be reminded of this, don't they, Gord?
Well, I think in the first period, now, it's a little bit of two things. It's not just the icing rule, the fact you don't have to touch it to make it an icing, but to me it was also some sloppiness by the Canadian team. Really, what I found the games up to date is they played it rather smartly. They take the offensive zone. Here we see in a couple of instances. Now, one is Wade Redden. This one's just a bad pass, so it goes down for an icing as he misses his mark there. Play comes back in the other end. The next one was more a planned play. Derek Morris, in this case, was trying to whack it in, get a play going, but it's missed again, and in second icing. So 2 offensive chances for the Canadian team go back the other way. And I think the first game against Norway, we were looking at, wasn't an icing until the 3rd period of that first game. So Team Canada had played with guys like Kyle McLaren, Jason Smith. They all jumped in. They took the blue line set up there. I thought it was kind of a lazy way today, and then the passes were rather lackadaisical. And like you say, the wingers can't really jam to try to negate the icing because it's automatic, and that's something they have to change in the next 40 minutes.
Just quickly, do you think so far Canada's adapted well to the international rules, specifically the icing and using the big ice and the no red line?
I really think they have. I think this is just a case of being sloppy. I think the icing was almost secondary. I just think the passes weren't on the mark.
When we talk about hockey, whether it's in the Stanley Cup playoffs or whether it's a Memorial Cup or the World Hockey Championship, as always, 2 of the biggest keys are goaltending and discipline. How do you see Canada playing with the big D right now?
Well, earlier we made mention of the six-man factor here, and that, of course, is being the crowd today. And the noise in the building would certainly influence the referee, and Canada knew this quite well. And early on, right here, Steve Sullivan's getting worked over, and no one's Sullivan playing with him. He would love to just clobber this guy, but he backs off and doesn't take the penalty. You know, which is a great smart play. But a little later, Eric Brewer gets a little bit more over aggressive here, ends up taking a penalty, and we know the end result. There was a German goal on the power play. So both examples of where you have to use your smarts in the situation, the game being in a hometown with the referee could play a key factor in this, and Eric Brewer kind of crossed the line and put his team down. So Canada's going to have to be very good at maintaining their cool throughout the whole game.
As an ex-player, how tough is it, honestly? We talk about discipline, whether it's in the playoffs, whether you played in the Stanley Cup playoffs, or as you've gone up through the junior system and then in the American League as well. We talk about discipline, but how tough is it in the room while you're there getting pumped up for a game and a coach is saying, stay out of the box, stay out of the box. And as a team, you try to do that, but when you're out there, it is very difficult. Easier said than done, isn't it?
Well, it is, and obviously our game is a very emotional game, and it's the quickest game in the world, and everything happens out there really fast. And I think that's why everybody talks about players being professional, and you have to contain that level of even keel on the ice. Obviously, it doesn't happen all the time, and it's much the same as in here, Gordon. We were talking earlier in Hockey Central that we would love to come over the top and clobber you, but because the fans are watching, we just can't do that. So, I mean, it's not just on the ice, it's here in the studio as well, where we have to maintain.
We don't lose our edge, but we keep our discipline. I think that's the same thing with the players. You don't want to take away their edge, so if they do get a penalty, they're on the bench, but you want to maintain their discipline.
Plus, if you come over the top, Ulf Rabler, the official, at least call a penalty. Lots more to come here in the first intermission report of this hockey game. 1-0 is the score. Germany with the only goal. Wayne Hines scoring his first of the tournament. Born in Montreal, but he's a German today.
The Molson World Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Kyocera Media, providing total document solutions, and the Aruba Tourism Authority. Visit them at www.aruba.com.
It's as digital as documents get. Digital copiers, network printers, color imaging. Kyocera Media is where documents are going.
A Kyocera Document Solutions company.
The new MC3 from Kodak. Take pictures, listen to MP3s, and make videos.
Raw fish tonight. You forgot my number, didn't you?
Yeah.
Share the moment, share life.
Silken, is everything all right? Everything's just fine.
For more than 60 years, families like Silkins have been entrusting A&J Campbell Van Lines to move more than just their belongings. You could say they deliver peace of mind. A&J Campbell, Canada's largest coast-to-coast mover.
Germany lost to Italy 3-1 in their first qualifying game, but they lead Canada 1-0 after 20 minutes at Hanover today. And speaking of Hanover, let's go back and get their thoughts on period number 1 with Dennis and Jim.
2 periods left in this one, but Jim, right now, Canada in a situation they've got to find a way to generate some offense.
Well, Germans are right where they want to be. They're up by a goal on a nice power play effort, and when they do get up by a goal, they can play even tighter. So Canada has just got to be patient. Make sure they hit their line with some speed. Don't try to beat them. Dump the puck in and turn them, and then just barrage their net. If you do that over time, you end up wearing them down, and you will score goals. And frankly, I think these are good opportunities for Canada to face a little bit of adversity. A lot of what has happened so far has been literally a perfect script. And to throw some adversity in and have Canada have to fight through some of this stuff at this stage of the tournament, I think is perfect.
And some open ice to start the second period as they'll play 4-on-4. Guys?
Thanks very much, guys, and we'll get back to you and the start of the second period in just a second. You're watching the Molson World Hockey Championship on the Score. Canada has been perfect so far in the tournament, but they trail in this hockey game, but as the guys mentioned, still 40 minutes to go.
Stay active. That's why I use Menon Speed Stick Clear Stick. New Clear Stick antiperspirant goes on dry and clear, not wet and sticky. With 24-hour protection, I don't have to worry about a thing, except surviving the next workout.
Here's to you, Canada. Here's to your hockey hair, your long underwear and multicolored money. Here's to saying please, your ducks and geese, and to always being funny. Here's to your pretty girls, your black-collared squirrels, and a flag that stands so free. Here's to different races from different places who love this country, like me. But most of all, here's to standing tall and saying it like a true Acadian. I love this land, I love this country, and I am Canadian. Cheers!
It's as digital as documents get. Digital copiers, network printers, color imaging. Kyocera is where documents are going.
A Kyocera Document Solutions company.
To enjoy in the 2001 Camry Plus, you may never take another shortcut again.
I like to stay active. That's why I use Menon Speed Stick Clear Stick. New Clear Stick antiperspirant goes on dry and clear, not wet and sticky. With 24-hour protection, I don't have to worry about a thing, except surviving the next workout.
Hanover, Germany, the capital of Lower Saxony and the home of the 2001 World Championships.
And would you like to have this gentleman playing on your team? Quick look at Wayne Gretzky's statistics as he's represented Canada a number of times. Most of the time he was playing with the Oilers in the playoffs, so whenever the World Championships were around, he typically was not available. He has, though, played in Germany once in December of '94, and he scored a goal. Denny, let's see how your trivia is.
Said it was his only goal in Germany.
Okay. in Fribourg. That was on, what did they call that tour? That was during the lockout strike, whatever it was.
Yeah. He spoke yesterday at a well-attended news conference and answered a variety of questions. There he is. Tremendous spokesman.
Yes, he certainly is.
Marleau starts at center with Friesen. 4-on-4, Redden and Morris. The defense pair, Redden will drop it off for Friesen. On the left side for Marleau. Marleau around Mayer. Good wrist shot by Marleau. And a good save.
What a beauty.
At the line, Redden bumps into his man.
This type of game favors the Canadians. 4-on-4, a minute 24 left on this 4-on-4. When you open up the ice with the way these guys can skate against a team like Germany, who typically will not have near as many good skating players as Canada, you have to take advantage of it. Let's see if the Canadians do here in the next minute.
Ludeman comes up with the puck. Cross ice for Mayer. Puts on the brakes just outside the Canadian line. Dumps it deep. And heads to the bench on the line change. Malling and Seidenberg come out defensively now. Benda back to the line. Long shot right on. Malling let that one fly. And Brathwaite makes the save. 4-on-4 for another 45 seconds. Stefan Robidoux skates it to the line. Long shot kicked out. In for his own rebound. A bouncing puck, and he chipped it wide into the crease. It comes. And Lecavalier tried to dig it free and bang it home, but nothing doing as it was jammed by the netminder.
Robidoux doing a real nice job. This guy has been strong throughout this tournament. Jumps up the ice, and as he goes to center the puck, very, very close to kicking it in his own net. Canada's defense right on top of things. A long shot from the blue line at the other end of the rink before Robidoux jumped up the ice. Freddie Brathwaite equal to the task.
Face off to the right of the netminder. Christian Kunist comes into this game with a goals against average of 1.50 and a very impressive save percentage of .942. Kyle McLaren straight arms the German forward, and Ryan Smith comes up with the puck. Smith gets grabbed in behind the net. Play allowed to continue. Puck comes free, and now it's grabbed off by Lecavalier to McLaren and back to Lecavalier. Ryan Smith is with him, and Smith drags the back leg, trying to stay on side. He was unsuccessful in that attempt.
Unless you can make your back leg grow, it typically doesn't keep you on side. Smith jumping up the ice on that one, but the Canadian defense has jumped up the ice lots, and they've been involved in a lot of the output offensively that Canada has enjoyed. Jason Smith with a real beauty shorthanded, 10 other assists, lots of shots on net to provide rebounds for the forwards as well. So a nice job by Canada's defense in providing offense for the Canadian squad.
Joe Thornton, watched by Sacchio, back to the left point to McLaren, waits for some traffic. There comes the shot right on, and we're back to 5-on-5. Goldman in the corner, turns it over to Sullivan. Sullivan pinching in from the line is McLaren. Sacchio tries to tie up McLaren, can't. Joe Thornton with the puck. Behind the net for Sullivan, it was deflected high. Sullivan couldn't knock it down. Back into the Canadian line where Derek Morris is there. He'll go cross ice for Kyle McLaren, and Kyle McLaren will hammer it in. Around the boards at the line for Jason Smith to Sullivan. He dished it in front looking for Thornton, but Thornton had gone behind the net. Marcel Gotch on the right side sends it ahead for Benda. Benda gets taken to the corner boards by Isbister. Brewer's after the puck. Gotch is there as well. Getting knocked down on the play was Benda. Out to center ice it comes. Unable to reach it was Isbister. And now Thornton is there. Pass was in behind Walls. Bouncing puck. Walls settles it down, gets it deep, takes a bump on the play from Renz. Goldman for Germany, watched by Draper, sends it up on the right side boards. Nobody there as Brewer was up tight on Benda, and it slides back into the Canadian zone where Wes Walls will take it.
Well, Wall's doing a good job. He sees the Germans lined up across the blue line, so he backs up so they can attack with speed. The Germans are clearly used to this type of play. They came up a little bit, but by the time Canada had regrouped, all four again were lined up across the blue line. So this will be a real contest in discipline as Canada tries to open up this game a bit and tie the score and move ahead.
Draper slides it into the German zone. After it goes Ludeman.
It's a perfect example there. Draper is attacking the line with speed, but because everybody else is stopped, Canada gets no advantage.
Here comes Hines looking for his second of the game. He scores! Wayne Hines, the first shot was stopped by Brathwaite. It may have deflected in off Hines. It's 2-0 Germany.
Now this crowd has continued to provide excitement for their country's hockey team as we get a look at Hines going to the net, shoots the puck. You never know what can happen. He comes back for a rebound. I'm not sure that he even shot it, that the motion going forward didn't bounce off. Take another look here as Hines drives to the net. It might be off the shaft of the stick.
We'll take a break. You're watching Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
He said right, and then he said left. That's the building.
Is it?
Can you photo?
Introducing the Kodak Advantix Preview camera.
Push the button right there. Where is my head?
It's the only film camera that lets you see a picture right after you take it. So you'll always get the moment you want to share. It's perfect. Share the moment, share life. Free your mind.
Now there's a sedan that makes all other sedans feel inadequate. With an ultra-spacious cabin, sophisticated engineering, a powerful engine, and bold new European design. Introducing the all-new 2001 Elantra from Hyundai. It sets the standard for what a great-looking sedan should be. The all-new Elantra. Driving is believing.
Welcome back to Germany. Dennis Bayak, Jim Paplinski, Andrei Ketchmaketti. Too many syllables in that one. Mark Askin is here. Roy Hoffman is here, along with our photographers, Stefan and Kai. And Germany with a 2-0 lead on a couple of goals by Hines and a penalty coming up to Stewart.
Stewart gets a pair for elbowing. And I'll guarantee you that Hans Zach is real happy with that call. That puck bounced off of Redden to get by Freddie Brathwaite. You know, when we came here first a week ago, we looked at the dasher on these boards. Dennison mentioned that there's about 4 inches where the puck can go around. Redden was up on the boards before Hines came in, and he couldn't scrape it off. It was going flat right along the dasher. It managed to get by him, and that was initially what gave Redden a bit of an open break. What gave Hines an open break, and in Redden's haste to get back after the shot, the puck bounced up and I think off him and behind Brathwaite.
Third power play of the game for Germany. Sacchio for Hines. He has been the trigger man for Germany with both their goals. Born in Canada, played in the Western Hockey League, and is trying to cause Canada some problems here tonight, and he has done so far. Icing is the call. Faceoff will come all the way back into the German zone.
Had to chuckle at one of the breaks. The PA announcer came on and asked everyone not to blow any whistles that might cause a problem with the game. I'm not sure what kind of whistle would be any worse than the racket that's being made in here. Nonetheless, good intentions, and our German friends are really getting into this one now with their team up by a pair.
Cross ice pass is picked off by Robidas. Ends up in the German bench and knocked down. We'll get a stoppage in play. We've had a change in the active scoring leaders as far as players that are still active. Raimo Helminen, 4 points so far in this tournament, so he has taken over top spot as far as active players. Robert Reichel is second, and Matt Sundin, who was the leader coming into this tournament, is now third.
I wouldn't expect Sundin to be able to move up in the standings, Dennis.
Yes, he's kind of busy right now. Long clearing pass by Freddie Brathwaite. He shoots the puck very well. Grellinger will go all the way back and start the power play. He'll leave it for Abstreiter. He'll in turn leave it for Marco Sturm. To the line, drops it for Abstreiter. Cross ice pass. for Grellinger. Grellinger's shot kicked away by Brathwaite. Bouncing puck in front. Back to the line it comes to Ludeman. His shot is blocked. Ludeman gets it again. He'll go cross ice. Down low for Daffner. Back for Kreutzer. Back for Daffner, who's in front of it. Right through the crease it comes. And no one there to get a stick on it. Power play continues. Marco Sturm sends it around the boards to Kreutzer. Kreutzer, back into the corner it goes. Good control by Germany. There's a shot that goes off the stick and over the glass. As that comes off the stick of Daffner. Back into the corner. Finally intercepted and cleared. And the penalty to Stewart has expired. After the puck goes Ryan Smith. He'll leave it for Steve Sullivan. Sullivan in the corner, watched by Goldman. For Ryan Smith. Joe Thornton, the other Canadian forward, goes to the back of the net. Puck comes loose. Thornton battles for it. Knocked away from him, and after it in the corner is Loth. Loth almost turned it over to Sullivan, but it's hammered down the ice. And now Sullivan and Smazel get tied up in the center ice area. Look at each other, exchange some slashes.
Well, Wayne Fleming has alternated Ryan Smith between Thornton and LeCavalier as we get a look at some of the stalwarts in German ice hockey history. Eric Kuhnhackl was a mountain of a man. Stopped playing here a number of years ago, but just a tremendous scorer, as was Dieter Hagen.
Sullivan on the wraparound. Can't get it into the short side on Kunist. The side of the net, Joe Thornton knocked his man down. That's Abstrader. He gets up slowly. Now play is whistled down as Abstrader and Thornton were tied up at the side of the net. The referee has not signaled a penalty, but that does not necessarily mean that there will not be one. We saw an incident this afternoon where there was not going to be a penalty called, and all of a sudden there was.
Well, Thornton drills Abstrader here, and I'm not saying that that there shouldn't be a little bit of retribution on Thornton for that by our good friend the referee. However, the thing that disappoints me is that Abstrader lays on the ground and causes a stoppage of play. He should get up and get going. As we see Thornton once again, this guy has been very physical. Thornton, that is, this game, and with some movement by Fleming putting Ryan Smith back with Thornton and Sullivan. Let's see if they can regain the magic that they had in the opening game of this tournament against Norway.
Draper after it behind the net. It's tied up on the backboards by Friesen. Marlowe digs it free. Marlowe watched by Mayer, now for Friesen. And now to Marlowe's. He fights off the check, gets to the crease. Couldn't get a good shot away with a rolling puck. Marlowe to Draper in the corner. Draper for Marlowe, watched by Mayer. After it, Friesen to the front of the net is Draper. And there's a penalty coming up. It's going to be Hines for holding Draper's stick. Hines does not like the call. The crowd does not like the call. But it doesn't matter. Hines is going to go for two.
That's a great call by the referee. Could easily have let that one go by, but did not.
You are watching Molson World Championship Hockey on the Score.
If you want to be serious about online gaming these days, you need a serious edge. I mean, it's not like I'm 8 anymore.
Sure, I'll slow down when I'm 15. But until then, I'll need a faster connection.
A 56K modem? Good enough for some college kid, maybe. But I'm not ready to retire just yet.
Kids learn fast. Help keep it that way. Shaw at Home. Sign up now for your free, no-obligation 30-day trial of Shaw at Home high-speed internet access.
It's Mazda's Spring Breakthrough event with breakthrough savings on every new Mazda. Like the Mazda B-Series truck. Right now, get incredibly low 1.9% financing, a great cash price, or a low lease on Mazda's most powerful truck ever. Hurry into Mazda's Spring Breakthrough event and break into spring with a new Mazda.
Second power play of the game for Canada. Hines in the penalty box for holding the stick. Canada down 2-0 with Love to get one here. There's a shot by Morris. He'll miss the short side with a high shot. Redden lets it go through traffic. Ludeman stops that in front. Marco Sturm sends it in on the left side for Kreutzer. He can't get free and gets taken into the corner boards by Redden. They battle for the puck. Now Morris comes in and steps into Kreutzer. And the power play starts up the ice, but in behind the play, we're going to have a penalty. It's going to be an interference call against Derek Morris. And that will nullify the power play.
Well, Morris is clearly upset with this call. Now, I couldn't see with all the people standing up here, Dennis, but my sense so far is that Radbier has called a pretty good game. There's something going on down in the corner. Let's see if an end zone camera picked it up or whether somebody wants to give us a look at it.
Penalty for Canada, number 15.
So Morris came in and finished the first check.
Morris, 2 minutes.
And then there's the extra straight arm. And there's the call.
Boy, there's hardly a bump. I can see why Morris is frustrated. Having said that, we also know that everything tends to get called here, so don't take the extra push.
Wayne Fleming mentioned that at breakfast this morning, that they call it closely here, and the players have been told that. So 4-on-4 for 53 seconds, and then a power play for Germany. In the high slot, loose puck for Goldman, and he knifed a backhand shot from in front of Brathwaite wide. Friesen back for Canada. In on Seidenberg. Seidenberg plays the man, takes Friesen to the corner boards. Eric Goldman is after the puck. He's tied up by Marleau, and the puck is cleared all the way down the ice. Icing will be the call, and we have an injured player in behind the action. Is that Seidenberg? No, it's not.
Eric Goldman got twisted up a little bit as we look at
He
Goldman.
has a great opportunity.
You bet, at the other end of the rink. Missing the knife shot you so aptly described. Brathwaite with good position. Goldman had to go to the outer limits, and it was too far out.
Right off the draw, Ryan Smith, the shot as Sullivan won the face-off, and the save made by Kunist. In his own zone is Smazel for Rumrick, the captain of this German team. Rumrick's pass is picked off by Sullivan to Ryan Smith, and back for Sullivan. 4 men back for Germany. Rumrick tries it again. His pass at center failed to find the open man. Jan Benda watched by Sullivan, and now a power play for Germany. Passes through for Rumrick. He couldn't catch up to it. Cleared for Sullivan. Never did get to him. And it's back into the Canadian zone, where Brathwaite will leave it for Ryan Smith. For his Edmonton Oilers teammate Eric Brewer. Into the corner. And down into the neutral zone off the stick of Robidas. Ryan Smith is dumped in behind the play. And Malling is going to get a penalty. Jochen Malling heads to the box. So in 11 seconds, when Morris gets out, power play for Canada.
So lots of 4-on-4 and 5-on-4 as we reach the halfway point in the second period. I would have thought that the Germans, given their past, would be much more disciplined here now that they've got a lead, but they're falling into a trap where if they give Canada the wrong power play advantage, this game gets close.
Kreutzer into the Canadian zone, puts on the brakes. Out of the penalty box is Derek Morris. And a power play now for Canada. Turnover, backhand shot right on, save made by Brathwaite, and Kreutzer unable to get his stick on the rebound as the initial shot came from Ludeman. Here comes LeCavalier across the line to the net as Isbister along with Richards. Oh, what a save by Kunist as he got the right leg out. Here's a break now for Loth. In pursuit is Stewart. Loth, the short-handed shot, and that is blocked. End-to-end action. Eric Brewer for Richards. To the line with LeCavalier. And offside called. And now Richards gets dumped on the play. And LeCavalier goes to the assistance of his Tampa Bay and Team Canada teammate. And we're going to have double penalties as Ulf Radbier of Sweden is going to send a couple of players off, I believe. Or is it just going to be Le Cavalier?
Well, I don't like the way he's pointing.
Well, Abstreiter is going in.
Radvier is pointing not only the penalty box, but it looked to me like he's sending him out of the game. Ryan Smith is waiting over for some interpretation, as is Rumrick.
10:34, the time of the penalties as we have the scrum. Richards was knocked down in behind the play. And we don't get a good look at it. I'm not sure if it was a knee-on-knee situation that got Le Cavalier upset.
Once again, though, very little percentage in starting to scrum after the whistle. Even if you do get the guy you want, I'm not sure you want to do what you originally wanted to do when you went to get the guy you wanted.
Next up, very well said. Next up for Canada, Tuesday against Czechoslovakia. That will be an 8 o'clock start here in Hanover. And then the quarterfinals will go on Thursday, the semifinals on Saturday, and the finals on Sunday.
Freddie Brathwaite, as these penalties expired, the Germans were all around the Canadian net with some real good pressure.
So Le Cavalier and Abstreiter to the penalty box. And power play will continue for Canada as in the box the Spieler is number 2, Pauling, and the Strafzeit is 1:12 left. That's the time. Reading that off the clock.
Number 4, Vincent Le Cavalier, 2 minutes on sport for conduct plus 2 minutes for roughing.
So unsportsmanlike conduct and roughing penalties, 4 each for Le Cavalier and Abstreiter. Stewart sends it into the German zone around the boards. Friesen is there. Mayer is there. Rumrick is there. Marlowe is there. Walker now moves into the pile, and the puck is cleared down the ice. So after a good start to this tournament, Germany beat Switzerland in the opening game 3-1, then a big tie against the Czech Republic 2-2. Then they lost 2-0 to Belarus, lost 3-1 to Italy. So they are trying to get things turned around after a good start to this tournament and have a 2-0 lead. And there's the guy that has both goals, Wayne Hines.
Wayne Hines and his squad last night didn't look like they had a lot of snap towards the end of their game versus Italy, but they've come out fairly disciplined. Canada didn't have the greatest first period of the tournament for them, and with a power play goal and then a good start in the second, Germany finds themselves exactly where they would like to be had they been allowed to write the script.
Steve Sullivan tries to go outside in, and now Sullivan takes a punch to the head from Andreas Renz. Down the ice it goes. I agree. I thought Germany looked tired.
Yeah, they
in
sure
the latter
did.
stages of last night's game, but they have found some new zip in the legs. Across the ice for Redden. In for Ryan Smith. He'll leave it for Thornton. Nice play by Ryan Smith. Thornton walks out. Right on. Save made. Power play is over. Mauling for Marco Sturm. In on Redden. Tried to snap it in on Brathwaite and did not get anything on the shot. Goldman on the far side gets tied up by Robidoux. Joe Thornton gets the puck and leaves it for Wade Redden. For Steve Sullivan. He'll circle and try and get the offense set up. Sullivan to the line. Ryan Smith to the net. Sullivan tries to get him the puck. Eric Goldman gets a stick in the way. Smith and Goldman in the backboards, and finally play will be whistled down. From Hanover, Germany, this is Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
So this is the lightest wheelchair in its category. And as you can see, it has a very small wheelbase, thus giving you very, very sharp turns. Good. Jump in, give it a try. And also, being titanium, you get a lifetime warranty on the frame. So when is this big party of yours happening?
Tomorrow.
probably get totally hammered, drive home.
It's Mazda's Spring Breakthrough event. With breakthrough savings on every new Mazda. Get incredibly low 1.9% financing on Mazda Protege, MPV, B-Series, 626, Millennia, and Miata. Or get great cash prices or low leases. Hurry into Mazda's Spring Breakthrough event and break into spring with a new Mazda.
Game 5, Sabres Penguins in the second period. Chris Gratton makes it a 2-1 hockey game, 15 minutes to go in the third.
2-0 in favor of Germany.
But Jason Smith makes a nice play to dribble this one by the right post. Just before that, he had wound up with a big shot that was blocked. Came back and he calmly corralled it and then created that scoring opportunity.
Loth sends it ahead for Cotton. Into the Canadian zone. Loth hustles after it. Shot from a sharp angle. Brathwaite stops it. Jason Smith and Loth rough each other up. Seidenberg back into his own zone for the loose puck. Cross ice. And this will be an icing call as Cotton tried to find a man open but couldn't.
Well, there's been a few players from Germany that have played in the National Hockey League. There's 3 of them. Another German-born player, Robert Reichel, with a German passport and a Czech passport. Coming along, sounds like Marcel Gottsch will be there as a first-round pick, and his brother has been spending some time with New Jersey as well.
As we take a look at the linesman with the helmet cam, yes, Sasha Gottsch, 11 games with the New Jersey Devils this year. A +7, averaging 13 minutes and 37 seconds per game. Quite sure what that gentleman was doing. In behind the net, pressure by Canada. The goal light is on. In behind the German net. And now it goes off. To the right point, Jason Smith fires it in front. That is blocked. And Smazel sends it out to center ice, gets it right back. Smazel across the line. The shot, Brathwaite the save. And hangs on for the faceoff with Marco Sturm on his doorstep, just in case that puck squirted loose.
Well, the Germans really pride themselves on being a counter team after strong defense. That's what Hans Zach has drilled into them. And we're seeing some good counters by the Germans. They're playing disciplined, even though Canada is putting some pressure on in their end. They're calm and cool, and as you saw there, a good counter.
Locked in front, clear to center ice. Ryan Smith tries to bust free, can't, as Goldman gets back to chop it out. This German team is playing hard. A lot harder than what they did last night. Wade Redden to Steve Sullivan, busts through, but the puck gets away from him. Sullivan from Timmins tracks it down. In for Ryan Smith. Down for Brad Richards. Sullivan to the front. It's tipped away. Stewart jumps in from the line for Richards. No clear line to the net. There's a shot deflected in front. Penalty coming up. Another save made by the netfinder Kunist, and then Ryan Smith was taken down. And Canada will get its 4th power play opportunity of the hockey game. Is heading to the penalty box is Renz.
Well, Smith is clever in this one where he's tied up and he figures I'm going down, because Germany, every chance that Canada is moving to open ice, there is a German hanging off him. So it's expending a lot of Canadian energy in order to make some headway. This was about 30 seconds ago. Ryan Smith was close to busting loose. Once again, Germans very, very close to the Canadians, making it real tough to find open ice.
Shot in front, wide of the short side again. The puck was rolling. Thornton shot let go by Richards. And Thornton just unable to get his stick on the rebound. Canada's power play coming into the game, 2nd in the tournament behind Slovakia. Redden sends it around the boards. Thornton and Friesen pile into the corner after a loose puck. Jan Benda's there as well, but Marlowe steals. At the line to Brad Richards. He tries to get it deep for Friesen. Can't. And Ludeman will send it down the ice, and troops coming out from both benches.
Well, one of the things that we've seen from the Canadian team so far is they haven't changed the tempo of their game from period to period. Let's see if through the last 5 minutes of this in the third they do.
Brad Stewart had trouble controlling the pass when he did get a shot away. It was high and wide of the short side. Richards off a leg, kept it as it stays in. Stewart to Smith. Ryan Smith out front for Isbister, and all over him is Abstreiter. Has him wrapped up with both hands. And good job defensively. Wasn't called for it, so it's a good job. Cleared in. Out for Sullivan, the quick outlet pass, tried to get it to Ryan Smith off his stick. Smith in the corner, battles forward with Smazel, gets it for Sullivan. Around for Isbister, he'll let it go to Stewart. Stewart back in for Isbister, 28 in the power play. For Stewart and now to Morris. The screen shot stopped in front. Isbister's after it. Isbister knocks Smazel down, and now Ryan Smith gets knocked into Smazel. Here's a shot wide of Brathwaite. That came off the stick of Kreutzer. Round the boards, Kreutzer has Goldman coming in from the line, can't get him the puck. Down goes Kreutzer, now down he goes again. Power play has expired, and Isbister has the puck. So the Germans trying to draw some penalties. In the corner, after it is Seidenberg. Rem Murray is after him. Cross ice, off the stick of Jan Benda for Marco Sturm. Sturm gets nailed there by Jason Smith. West Walls with the puck. 2-0. Germany on goals by Wayne Hines. One in the first, one in the second. Long shot in. That will be grabbed by the netminder Kunniston. He'll hang on. You are watching Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
It's as digital as documents get. Digital copiers, network printers, color imaging. Kyocera is where documents are going.
A Kyocera Document Solutions company.
Manitoba's Mark McKay is on the roster. There's an icing call for this Germany team, but has not seen any action in this tournament. He was one of a number of these players in the 1998 Olympics. Benda, Ludeman, Goldman, Malling, Rumrick, Marco Sturm. They finished 9th in the Olympics, but Mark McKay yet to see any action in this tournament. Jason Smith for Eric Brewer. To center and fires it in. Canadians pour in after it. Getting there first, though, was Mayer up on the boards for Abstreiter, and he'll knife it up the wall and back into the Canadian zone where Walker will hustle back. Walker in on the right side. Loses it at the line and delayed offside, but the Canadians clear the zone. Shot from the left side, that goes wide as Abstreiter let it fly. Karam's all the way around and back into the German end. Malling in the near side boards, pressure from Friesen. Friesen tried to get it to Marlowe, couldn't control it, and it comes outside the line. Morris fires it back in. The Canadians clear the zone, so they are back on side. Jochen Malling slows the play down. His pass up the middle, picked off by LeCavalier to Richards, offside. Ryan Smith trying to get out of the German zone, could not get out in time.
Well, there's a fair amount of skating and work to be done here. A couple of minutes left in this period. And the Germans we've said a few times now, have executed a perfect script. A power play goal in the first, both that one and the second one by Wayne Hines. With a minute 59 left in the second, even though Canada is dumping the puck in and skating hard, the Germans in pretty good composure in keeping most of the attack to the outside and really falling back in on Kuntz, their goaltender, assisting him at every turn.
Penalty coming up, a holding call as McLaren gets grabbed. Coming out of his own zone, another power play coming up for Canada. This one comes late in the second period.
The key to that, McLaren keeps his big feet moving. Canada has got to continue to do that because the Germans are looking to play a good old-fashioned style of clutch and grab. And if you keep your feet moving, although it wears you out, it does force the referee to call a penalty because sooner or later somebody drags you down. We've seen Ryan Smith do it. We just saw McLaren do it. And we've got to have the rest of the Canadian squad continue to do that in order to take Hans Zach and his squad off of their course for a victory.
So the power plays now favor Canada. This is Canada's 5th power play opportunity of the hockey game. Germany has had 4. The key, though, they are 1 for 4. Canada 0 for 4.
Penalty for Germany, player number 19, Markus Sturm. 2 minutes for holding plus a 10-minute misconduct.
So Marco Sturm gets a misconduct as well.
Well, Denny, we did mention Sturm got out of sorts last night when he had a crack from an Italian and really was undisciplined, and he's carried that on into this game. Not sure that that's a good thing for his squad.
Isbister tried to get it back to Ryan Smith. It goes all the way back to Brathwaite, and he'll leave it for Brad Richards. Ryan Smith out as well, takes the pass on the left side. Smith with Sullivan and Isbister up front. Richards, the extra forward on defense, along with Redden. Redden chips it deep. Netminder Kunis comes out to play it up on the boards. Isbister charges in after along with Smith. Sullivan tries to track it down. It rolls up on the boards on the far side. Richards pinches in, holds it in. Good job by Richards to Ryan Smith. He'll rim the boards looking for Wade Redden. Redden protects it from the oncoming player Loaf and gets it for Smith. Out front to Isbister, and a save on the short side. Richards a shot. That is blocked. Ends up in the mesh in behind the German netminder and brings about a stoppage in play.
Perfect pass by Ryan Smith, and Isbister finds himself all alone right on the seam. When Kunast is down on his knees so quickly, the place to go is peanut butter now. You want to go right top shelf, get it up as quick and as high as you can, and that can make the difference.
Canada has not had many real clean opportunities on the German goaltender. It seems the puck has been rolling, it's been bouncing. Around the boards, Friesen hustles in after it along with LeCavalier and Marleau as the power play continues. Pinching in from the line is Stewart. Puck does not get to the front of the net. Dying seconds of the period, and it is grabbed off by Jan Benda. He'll get to the red line, send it in, and that will do it for the second period. So a goal in the opening period by Wayne Hines, a goal in the second period by Wayne Hines. That's the way it stands after 40 minutes. Germany 2, Canada no scores. We toss it back to Steve Cooley.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Yeah, 1 goal in the first period, Wayne Hines. 1 goal in the second period, Wayne Hines, although he caught a bit of a break as Brathwaite cleared it, went off Wade Redden and in. So Canada, guys, facing some real adversity right now in the tournament, trailing by a score of 2-0. What's going wrong in this hockey game, Gordon?
Well, I'll tell you first what the Germans are doing right, and Jim and Dennis alluded to the fact they really played a stinker last night. They look like a tired team, but they've come out and played a real solid hockey against Team Canada today. So I think they've been re-energized by the crowd. Also, hey, where are the big guys? The big guys in Canada, someone's got to stand up. We've talked about Scott Walker being a surprise. We talked about Joe Thornton, Vincent LeCavalier, Ryan Smith. I mean, one of those types of guys, this is what it's screaming for them to grab it in the third period.
Absolutely, and I think at the same time, Canada knows they should beat this hockey team, but they cannot wait to do it. I mean, they're turning the pucks over at the blue lines too often, and when they're getting to the net, right near the end of the period there where Smith put it out to Isbister, they've got to put those pucks in like they've been doing earlier in the tournament. So when they're in around the goal, they got to make them count and not just hit the goaltender like they've been doing. He hasn't been making the great saves. They just haven't gotten it by him.
Wayne Hines scored the goal in the first period, and in the second period he scored again, and that is our play of the period. Hines was born in Montreal, spent much of his hockey career overseas in Europe, catches a bit of a break here as Brathwaite clears it off. Wade Redden it in as his tough spring continues.
Play of the Period is brought to you by the Aruba Tourism Authority. Visit them at www.aruba.com.
We're going to take a break here on The Score and be back with our second intermission report. Canada trailing by a score of 2-0 to Germany. Canada has given up 6 goals in the tournament, but they'll have to score some in this one if they want to battle back.
To enjoy in the 2001 Camry Plus, you may never take another shortcut again.
The new Quadra Action from Philishave has a unique combination of slots and holes, eliminating both long and short hairs at the stroke of a hand. It's waterproof, so it rinses clean. A virtually effortless shave. Saves energy for other things. The new Quadra Action from Philishave.
And here comes Silken. Silken will get the bronze medal ahead of Ann Marsh.
Silken, is everything all right? Everything's just fine.
For more than 60 years, families like Silkens have been entrusting A&J Campbell Van Lines to move more than just their belongings. You could say they deliver peace of mind. A&J Campbell, Canada's largest coast-to-coast mover.
The second period summary is brought to you by Kyocera Media, providing total document solutions.
Welcome back to the Molson World Hockey Championship on The Score. Only 1 goal in that period, and it was Wayne Hines, born in Montreal, scored his second of the game, second of the tournament, and that came at the 3:42 mark. Shots on goal in the hockey game. Canada 11 in that period, but only 20 so far, and we've seen them run up the shots on goal total. The Germans had 7 in the period and 16 so far in the hockey game. Once again, welcome to our Toronto studios. I'm Steve Cooley with Gord Stellick and Chris King as we talk about this hockey game after 40 minutes. And Gord, throughout the tournament, we've talked about a number of things, the way things are different on the international ice surface, 200 by 100. If you've got the wheels and got the horses, you can really open up the game and we can see a lot of end-to-end action.
Well, you can, and a couple things in this play. Now, first of all, Chris talked about Christian Kunis, the goaltender from Germany, who is trying to be the Johan Hedberg, I guess, of the World Championships, a guy we haven't heard about. He's faced 20 shots. Not a lot of them been great scoring chances, but Brad Richards is a guy you expect to put it in. Here he came, the sniper, and that was a nice save by Kunis. Now it goes back the other way, and this is where the turnover, the transition happens rather quickly. From a missed scoring chance from Team Canada, goes right back, and Freddie Brathwaite had to be sharp that way. So you had 2 things. Number 1 was Brad Richards not scoring like nobody has for Team Canada, and that's what they've been doing in the 4 previous games. Secondly, boy, once that goes wide, you really got to back check quickly because the turnaround's very quick, and I was impressed the way the Germans came right back. They've been doing a lot of that as well.
Like in the Stanley Cup playoffs, specialty teams very important at the World Championship level as well. And going into this hockey game, Chris, Canada's power play was executing at a 27% clip. They had scored 6 power play goals, and we saw them score, as you mentioned yesterday, in the Switzerland game. Short-handed, they were getting some opportunities as well. So penalties for both teams, obviously another key in this one.
Well, at the top of the show, we talked a lot about discipline, and Canada have to be very disciplined with the fact that the German fans would be a big part of swaying the referee's decision on certain calls. Well, here today, in the second period, we saw a lot of undisciplined play by the Germans. And again, Canada got away from where they wanted to be cool-headed. Brad Stewart takes kind of a retaliation penalty here and gets nailed for it. And here, this one really bothered me. Just a little push that happens all the time. This guy needs a beach towel. He's going to continue to dive like that. Here's a slash that led to a little bit of a scrum by the Germans. And later on, Ryan Smith says, if they're going to dive, I'm going to try it too. Why not? And he did call it. But there was a lot of indisciplined play. Marco Sturm, who's their best player, took a 10-minute misconduct late in the game and in the period, and that could certainly hurt them in the third period.
There's been a bit of a letdown in this hockey game. Canada's playing a little bit in this one. Gord, like the way, I guess, they played against Italy, although they still won that hockey game. As far as the third period is concerned, what does Canada have to do that they haven't done in the first 40 minutes to turn it around?
I guess dive better. That's one thing. Maybe call Bill Barber over as a player now that they're out. I mean, no, you know what? But you mentioned the penalties, whether they've been legit penalties or the ones that have been diving, there's been no flow. I mean, every time you turn around, even though it seems like there have been 40 penalties. I know there haven't been that many, but it always seems somebody's on a special team. And I know in Canada's case, they really want to roll the four lines, get everybody involved. And I think they got to try to get that, just get everybody in the game. It just seems like a lot of guys, it's like the opening face-off of the game, not the opening face-off of the third period.
And that's true. I mean, personally being on a fourth-line left winger most of my career and not on the specialty teams, you've got guys sitting on the bench that probably had maybe one and a half minutes of playing time that period. And not being able to put your five-man units out there and getting some sustained pressure, you could really tell that there just, like you said, was absolutely no flow. And your best players are generally on your power play and your penalty killing, and they could easily get tired out here going into the third period. So you really want your flow for the Canadians so they can utilize their speed and not just getting the puck down, icing it when they're killing penalties. And their power play certainly does have to get better in this period.
All right, more to come in our second intermission report in just a bit. You're watching the Molson World Hockey Championship on The Score. Canada a perfect 4-0 going into this one, 3-0 officially in the qualifying round, but trailing Germany by 2. Wayne Hines, the hero so far, with a pair.
The Molson World Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by AMJ Campbell, proud to be the official mover of Canada's Olympic team, and Menon Speed Stick for tough protection 24 hours a day.
1 in 13 Canadians has diabetes. 1 in 3 adults with diabetes doesn't even know it. Left untreated, diabetes can lead to blindness, heart disease, kidney disease, even amputation. Diabetes can be treated, and in some cases, prevented, by being more active and eating healthy foods. Please, don't turn your back on diabetes. Visit our website or call 1-800-O-CANADA. A message from the Government of Canada.
This is my daily commute. This is my car.
The new 2001 Sebring sedan from Chrysler.
Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
Dance! You want to fly. You're going to jump. Help keep the life in your clothes with new Deep Clean Liquid Tide. Now that's new. Liquid Tide can tackle this tough stain with the new enzyme that cleans it deep down like no other leading powder detergents can to keep clothes looking great. New Deep Clean Liquid Tide. Keep the life in your clothes.
This is the 5th time that Germany has hosted the World Hockey Championship. The last time before this year was back in 1993 in Munich. Let's go back to Hanover right now and rejoin our broadcast team of Dennis Bayak and Jim Poplinski as they give us their analysis on the second period of play.
Thanks, guys. Jim, you talked earlier about Canada facing adversity, and maybe that would be a good thing. This third period will be an interesting one in that case.
Well, it will. Canada is dumping the puck in. They are skating. The Germans are all over them, but you do have to learn to face adversity as a team, and when you've only been together for a week, you haven't had that opportunity. This is not a 4 out of 7 game series, so you don't have to worry about it being the 7th game. One game does not a series make. So if you lose one, it's not the end of the world. That's not saying you want to lose, but you do have to take positives from it. Let's see how Canada reacts. They're down 2-0 against a team that is playing very, very disciplined, is very strong, is all over them, is frustrating them. The next 20 minutes are going to be a good indication of how Canada deals with adversity.
Some of the Canadian players talked about the fans being the seventh man for this German team, and that has been the case tonight. Guys?
Thanks very much, gentlemen. We'll get back to you for the drop of the puck for the third period play in just a second. Chris, I'll ask you simply, what does Canada have to do to turn this 2-0 deficit around?
Well, I hate to state the obvious, but they definitely have to score. And I mean, not just get to the net and get scoring chances like I talked about earlier. They've got to create odd man rushes. They've got to utilize their speed. They got to get rebounds and have guys there. There's been a lot of pucks laying around in the slot where no Canadian players, like in the first couple games, were, and that's where they were scoring a lot of their goals from, is around those scrums around the crease, and that's where they've got to get the puck and use their speed.
Jim Pavlinsky said it, and I tell you, I said in the first intermission, stop dumping the puck in, take it. You've got some speed, you've got some playmaking skill. Take the blue line, don't dump the puck in anymore.
All right, when we come back, we'll go to Hanover for third period action. Canada losing right now by a score of 2-0. Going into this game, 19 goals for, 4 against. They need to get that 19 total up.
Lizerol shampoo kills the fungus that can cause dandruff.
Can I take a picture of you guys?
Not now.
Get closer.
Later, sweetie.
Closer. Smile. Thanks.
Always presents some science.
Just for us, during our period. The more water we drink, the less water we retain.
More science we can use?
Always Super Maxis.
The only Super Maxis with quilted dry weave.
To resist bunching, so they keep their shape better.
And keep protecting after wingless Maxis give up.
Go science.
Always quilted protection.
Always science. Never stops.
To enjoy in the 2001 Camry Plus, you may never take another shortcut again.
Guys, switch to Mach 3. 3 blades for the closest shave in a single stroke. You'll love the difference. And so will we. Mach 3. From Gillette.
This is the 11th major international tournament to be hosted by Germany since the first one in 1911 in Berlin. This one in Hanover is where we are. Also going on in Cologne and Nuremberg.
And these are members of this team that are remaining from the 98 Olympics. Missing Kozik, who would be a welcome addition to this hockey team, despite how well Kunast is playing tonight. In addition, Stefan Ustorf is in the AHL playoffs, as is Jochen Heck with St. Louis.
So we are getting set for the third period. 19 seconds left in the power play for Canada. (2-0). Wayne Hines has both goals. Jan Benda has the puck. Benda will kill off some valuable seconds. Will he find an opening? Yes, he does, and he'll just shoot it down into the Canadian zone off the backboard. Steve Sullivan will take over, and again we see Team Canada with 4 forwards and 1 defenseman on this power play. This time it's Steve Sullivan who was back at the line, and now they make the change with the penalty over. In behind the net, puck is controlled by Rumrick. He'll send it down to the Canadian line, and therefore it is red. For Derek Morris, he'll flip it in. This will be icing. One linesman was waving it off. The other one was calling it. And the whistle goes. The face-off will come all the way back.
Now, one of the things that Wayne Fleming and the Canadian team cannot do because of the rules here with no-touch icing, you've got to get the red line before you dump it in. So when you've got a team like the Germans tonight who are standing up basically 5 across and backing up, you have to get the red line. The more they stand up and force you to carry it and into them, makes it difficult, where in the National League you can drift that baby from anywhere, and if you've got speed and touch it before your opponent can turn around and get there, you gain control. That doesn't work in the same fashion in international hockey.
Scott Walker in after Malling. Bouncing puck into the neutral zone, and Eric Brewer is there for Jason Smith, and back for Brewer. Looks for some skating room, can't find any, as Oshbreder gets right on him.
So there's a perfect example, Denny. Canada is waiting on the blue line as Brewer and Smith move the puck around. When they do get the red line, there's no speed to gain control.
Centering pass, that is intercepted as it ends up on the stick of Cutton to center ice. Fakes the shot, and that puts his teammate Loth offside on the far side. And again, line changes for Canada. LeCavalier coming out with Richards, along with Draper. And Chris Draper, along with Todd Gill, led the Detroit Red Wings in plus-minus this year at plus 17. Draper was with the Canadian national team for a couple of years, between 88 and 90. Over 10,000 in attendance here, and they have enjoyed it. They sing and dance when their team is losing. They are really in a festive mood here tonight with their team up 2-0. Wayne Hines has both goals. Dennis Bayak and Jim Poplinski with you in Croissant as the 2001 World Championships continue in the corner. Richards is rubbed out by Goldman. Puck is loose for LeCavalier. Dipsies his way to the side of the net. Jams it into the crease. And again, the netfinder, Kunis, jumping on the puck and hanging on, and we are seeing very quick changes now by Canada.
Kunis will freeze the puck any opportunity he can. The more face-offs, the more stoppages of play that Germany gets, the better chance they have of beating the Canadians. I have had some experience in this type of game. For 10 years, I've faced the Edmonton Oilers, and if we could slow those guys down, particularly when we had a lead, it made all the difference in the world. When you've got great players and great skaters, the more you throw stoppages of play, hanging all over them, tiring them out, the better your chances of beating them, providing you got a lead.
Isbister, sharp angle shot. That one almost got through the pads of Christian Kunis. McLaren for Derek Morris. He'll take it in behind Fred Brathwaite. Early third period. Kyle McLaren to center, and in it goes. Around on the boards. After it is Murray to Isbister. He blasted that one wide. Isbister with 3 goals in the tournament. Almost had his 4th. Isbister at the line, fires it in. Again, the line change for Canada. We're under 3 minutes into the third period. They've gone through 4 lines now. Shot by Robidas doesn't get through. Steve Sullivan is there. He tried to whack it deep. It was blocked by an errant stick. Across the line for Benda on the backhand, and he couldn't get it away. In front of the net, Brathwaite, it's in behind him, and it's batted away by Stewart. Rumrick with the opportunity, got it through Brathwaite, but it did not have enough to get across the goal line before Brad Stewart hustled in and batted the loose puck away.
Benda with a nice job here. He couldn't control the puck. Has the presence of mind to fire it across in a perfect pass. Back, Brathwaite's got to make a great save, and this is where I think Stewart whacked that puck. It was rolling on its way to the net. Whether it had enough gas or not, didn't want to find out.
Cotton in for Sacchio. The shot that's blocked by Jason Smith, and that hurt. Some pressure now by the German team, and here comes Eric Brewer. Up for Jeff Friesen. He got knocked down at the line. And Germany continues to be right in the face of the Canadian players every time they get the puck. Jason Smith, big hit on the far side. The puck comes loose, and Eric Brewer will carry it to the line and in with Marleau, and back to Brewer. Around the net, sends it in front, and it went through the skates of Patrick Marleau. Across the line for Sacchio. Brewer. Jason Smith knocked his man down. There's a shot that doesn't get to the net. Kreutzer has it in the corner. Daffner goes to the front of the net. It's behind the net for Sacchio. Now for Daffner. He'll let it go to Kreutzer. Back to Daffner. Back for Sacchio. To the line it comes. There's a shot in front that's batted by Sacchio, but he didn't get enough on it, as the shot from the line came from Smazel. Jason Smith will carry it back. To the line and in. LeCavalier with some speed on the left side in ahead of the play. You're watching Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
With a dead battery or caught unprepared by a power outage, with the Prestone Jump-It, you'll always be prepared. The Jump-It not only jump-starts dead car and boat batteries, but with its built-in 12-volt DC power outlet, the Jump-It becomes your portable power source, around the house or in the middle of nowhere. The Prestone Jump-It can help make an emergency situation safer or a recreational one more fun. Get reliable portable power when and where you want it with the Prestone Jump-It. Prestone, more than just antifreeze.
Welcome to the swamp. Welcome to the swamp.
Welcome to the swamp.
Welcome to the swamp.
Welcome to the swamp. All across Canada, Kia dealers are getting right into Kia's Welcome to the Swamp event, featuring the all-new Magentas with 0.9% financing or lease from $249 a month, and the Swamp Zone Sportage with 0.9% financing. Lease that one from $239 a month. Kia's Welcome to the Swamp event.
It'll get your mojo going. Yeah.
In the corner for Daffner. He'll give way to Derek Morris, and he'll chip it up for Brad Richards. Richards will send Draper in on the right side. Draper in against Renz. Back to Richards. Sharp angle shot. Left point controlled by McLaren. Sends it to the side of the net. Jammed in front by LeCavalier, but picked off. Into the Canadian zone it goes. Kreutzer into the corner boards along with Draper. And the puck is taken by Derek Morris. For Richards with LeCavalier and Isbister. Morris up on the play, scores! Derek Morris, who can hammer it, did just that, gets it through the netminder. Kunist. Canada's on the board. It's 2-1 Germany.
Attacking the line with speed. Richards with a nice little flick pass over to LeCavalier, and LeCavalier spreads his legs. Watch him drop this puck right between them. Morris just pounds this. When you described it perfectly, Dennis, it didn't go in the net. It went through Kunast. Lots of mustard on that shot. And it just muscled its way through the German goaltender, Kunast.
So Canada's on the board as Derek Morris gets his first of the tournament. And we'll see how big that goal is as time goes on here in the third period. Plenty of time. It's now a one-goal game. West Walls for Wade Redden, and now back for Walls. For Rem Murray across the line. The shot. High save made. Stewart the rebound. It changes directions in the high slot and went by the short side. Cleared down the ice. They're going to call this icing. And the face-off is going to come back. The German team not happy with the call. They felt it went off a Canadian player in the neutral zone.
Well, the clear that Stewart made might start to be a much bigger one as this game gets closer. Rem Murray dumps the puck in, and Kunast not controlling the rebound real well. This guy has had lots of support from his team. As we get a look at Sturm in the penalty box, he's serving the remainder of the 10-minute misconduct he took. I wonder if Hans Zach would like to have his services now.
Sturm of the San Jose Sharks, good skater, very good penalty killer. 2 shorthanded goals in 98-99, 4 the following year, and 3 this past year for the San Jose Sharks. Canada pouring in, Sullivan in the corner. He gets tied up in the corner by Smazel. Will they get a whistle? No, they don't. Puck comes loose into the crease area, and it's cleared quickly and grabbed off and taken to center ice and cleared in by Hines. Loth goes after it. He gets rubbed out in behind the net by Brewer. Now Loth goes down, trying to draw a penalty. crowd wanted a call. The referee said no, and here comes Jason Smith. Up to Ryan Smith. Now to Steve Sullivan. In across the line. In on Goldman. Sullivan around Goldman. Around the net. And now Sullivan gets taken down. No call there either. Smith in the corner with Thornton. They battle for it. Renz is there. Smith for Sullivan. All over him is Goldman. Smith poked it back to the line, but it comes between the 2 point men and back into the Canadian territory. And play is whistled down. Not sure what for, but we'll take a break and try and find out. You're watching Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
It didn't have to end like this. Armor All Protectant. Armor All Wash and Wax. And introducing Armor All Wipes, a revolutionary new way to shine, protect, and maintain your car quickly and easily. It's not just shine, it's Armor All.
I hate boxes. I hate them with a passion. You can give them flashy names and flashy options, but when you get right down to it, they're still boxes. Did I tell you how much I hate boxes? This is my car. The new 2001 Sebring sedan from Chrysler.
Third period action, Buffalo trailing 2-1 against Pittsburgh. Follow the bouncing puck, it slides in, game tied at 2, and they're going to overtime in game 5.
Sacchio across the line. Sacchio to the net. Brathwaite to save the rebound. The goal light went on, but a save by Brathwaite as he got the right pad down. I think we just got a very excitable goal judge in the one end.
Well, he did have that red light on for about 30 seconds in the second period. We couldn't figure out why.
Walker spins it around the boards for Jeff Friesen. Friesen gets spun around on the plate, tried to get the puck deep, couldn't. And Sacchio will carry to center ice. Looking for a line change, he'll just dump it in and then spins and heads back to the bench. Here comes Derek Morris. He has the lone Canada goal in this game. Wayne Hines has both for Germany. Derek Morris, the shot right on, right off the crest of the German netminder Kunist. Back across the line for Hines. He'll send it. That goal. Puck went off the arm of Brathwaite and off the crossbar as Catan let it go. Richards back for Draper to the line. That's as far as he gets. And it's knocked right back out to center ice. Here comes Richards again. Overskated it. Sends it deep. Cuts off the backboards. Leaves it there. For Smazel. Out to center ice, but no further. And Eric Brewer is there. To LeCavalier around Goldman. Goldman slows him up. LeCavalier behind the net. Went for the body check. Couldn't pick up the puck cleanly, though. Abstrater out to center ice for Kreitzer. Kreitzer and Abstrater crisscross at the line, and offside is called as we have a collision with the linesman as well, and that's the reason for that last whistle that we were wondering about. The linesman lost his helmet.
Here's a look at what you described a few seconds ago. Brathwaite with his glove and his blocker up, and this is how close it was to being 3-1 Germany. Every once in a while that puck can take a few different flutters, and it did on Freddie there, and almost made it back to a 2-goal game.
Next up for Canada, Czechoslovakia Tuesday, 8 o'clock here in Hanover. Sullivan cutting it around the defenseman.
Canada's scheduled to have a full day off tomorrow, so regardless of the outcome of this hockey game, they will get a chance to rest. Nothing to save it for, as they say.
Daffner got dumped just outside the line by Ryan Smith. No call from the referee. And offside now called.
Ryan Smith sticking his right leg out. He was lucky he got away with that one. Not only from a penalty perspective, but when you extend your leg like that, you get that whack the wrong way, and you can get injured just as easily as the guy receiving the check.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ticket counters...
Ryan Smith on November 14th scored all 3 goals in a 3-0 win over St. Louis. He is the first NHL player to do it twice. 11 others have done it once. Derek Morris' shot on the short side. That goes wide. At the left point, Kyle McLaren sends it in for Wes Walz and now to Isbister. Isbister fights his way to the net. They score! Brad Isbister, using his size and his strength, gets his 4th of the tournament. We're tied at 2.
Wade Fleming's a little bit happier, as is Lanny McDonald, who's 30 feet behind us. Rem Murray gives Isbister the full Bister on the melon. Take a look at how he drives to the net here. You know, you've seen LeCavalier and Thornton doing that this period, going wide and keeping the feet moving. We talked about Isbister earlier keeping his feet moving, and he does here with a great drive to the net. Kunas not perfect on this play. He didn't do a bunch to help the defenseman that was trying to stop Isbister from coming in, as you see it sneak through. When you've got the size and the skating ability and you keep the feet moving, well, you can do a lot of damage. The guy that I thought was best at that in all the years that I've watched hockey is Glenn Anderson. He would get behind the goal line and find a way to come to the front and have the same result that Isbister just did there. 2-2 hockey game.
The best shooting percentage of this tournament belongs to Brad Isbister. He had 3 goals on 8 shots coming into this game. He gets his 4th goal of the tournament, and a big goal as Canada has come back from a 2-0 deficit to tie this game at 2. And they're in looking for more. Ryan Smith for Derek Morris, and an arm save by Kunis. Back into the corner, Sullivan sends it deep. Ryan Smith takes the pass from Thornton. They try to work it loose off the corner boards. Germany hanging on right now. Loth finally digs it free as Thornton got taken into the corner boards on what could have been a checking from behind penalty. Here comes Eric Brewer. He'll chip it off the glass and in. Smazel for Germany. In on him quickly is Friesen. Friesen lays the shoulder into Smazel. That brings about a stoppage in play. You are watching Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
It's not just a new sign. It's a new Midas. Expanded services, new genuine Midas parts, a lifetime guarantee. We're more than mufflers. We're a new way to keep a good thing going. Go Midas.
This is my daily commute. This is my car.
The new 2001 Sebring sedan from Chrysler.
I like to stay active. That's why I use Menon Speed Stick Clear Stick. New Clear Stick antiperspirant goes on dry and clear, not wet and sticky. With 24-hour protection, I don't have to worry about a thing, except surviving the next workout.
2-2 tie here in the 3rd period. Jason Smith turns and chases the loose puck into his own zone. In behind the net. It's intercepted by Marco Sturm. Score! Marco Sturm out of the penalty box after serving his 10-minute misconduct. Bounces one in somehow. And Germany has regained the lead at 3-2.
Well, Hans Zach is pretty excited about that goal, and you see Freddie shaking his head. Boy, he's had a lot of weird bounces today. Jason Smith gets taken off the puck by Sturm, and as Sturm tries to center it, it hits Brewer and bounces up. I don't know that that would even count as a shot on net, but it found a way to get behind Brathwaite. This angle will show it perfectly. Look, it bounces up over his shoulder and hits his right leg and bounces in. Sturm came out of the box. It's his first shift since he finished serving the 10-minute misconduct, and he made an immediate impact.
3rd of the tournament for Marco Sturm, and Germany is back in front. So Marco Sturm doing his best to make it a joyous party. They made an announcement a little while ago that there will be a party in the plaza just outside the building here after the game tonight. And you do get the feeling there will be a few pints of beer consumed at that party. In the corner in the German zone, Canada now down by 1 again. On the offensive, it is Draper in the corner. After him is Hines. Brad Richards drops it off for Brad Stewart. To the side of the net, cleared away by Kreutzer. Kept in by Brad Richards, though. Out front it comes, off a stick to the near side boards. Sturm is after it, and there is a penalty coming up on the play. The referee is pointing at Loth, signals charging, and Loth makes his way to the penalty box.
Well, LeCavalier was planted firmly in front of the net. You see Loth hit him from behind. Freddie Brathwaite just coming over to the bench for a quick shot of water on that stoppage of play.
Well, Canada's 0 for 5 on the power play so far tonight. And that's something they would like to take care of right now. Thornton will take the face-off for Canada. Sullivan and Smith, the other forwards. Brewer and Morris, the point men on this power play. Centering pass is intercepted. Abstrader rags it to the far side boards. It's taken to the wall by Thornton, and it's cleared up for Kreutzer. Kreutzer one-on-one in on Brewer. He'll drop it off for Abstrader. He's stopped there by Ryan Smith. For Eric Brewer.
The Canadians have the advantage now in number of penalties over Germany. What they don't want to do is start reaching and give an opportunity for an even up call.
Derek Morris tried to dump it deep, didn't get much on it. Brathwaite comes out, plays the long lead pass to Ryan Smith and back to Thornton. Into the German zone with speed. Thornton goes down in the corner. Sullivan takes Mazel to the boards. Around to the left point it comes for Wade Redden. Redden of the Ottawa Senators back in for Steve Sullivan of the Chicago Blackhawks. To the right point to Derek Morris of the Calgary Flames. A shot scramble. Thornton a bang at it. And Smith is there as well. And somehow through all that, the netminder Kunist hangs on and keeps it out.
The Germans are getting to be experts at spreading out and just smothering the puck and stopping any movement at all. Ryan Smith is in the crease. He's like a dog looking for a bone. And there are 3 or 4 Germans in addition to that. So when it gets tight in there, it's difficult to do, but you almost have to back out a little bit and give yourself some room. If you get right on top of the goalie and right on top of the crease, it's very, very difficult. Well, look at Hans Zock. This guy is a trained butcher and licensed massage therapist as well as a sports coach. Dennis?
Power play continues for Canada. Redden jumps in from the point and has the puck. For LeCavalier at the line to Stewart, and now back to LeCavalier. Winds up, fakes the shot, spins, watched by Jan Benda. Down low to Richards and back to LeCavalier. Now back for Richards. Redden is in the high slot and gets the pass. Fired it over top the player Marco Sturm. And it goes over top the net, and because Walker was in the crease, play is whistled down and the faceoff will come outside the line.
Well, this game started just shortly after 8 with 6 minutes remaining. We're just over 2 hours now. The face-off rule in this competition makes things happen a lot quicker. In fact, the Canadians were hardly off the ice and the linesman was just dropping the puck.
Germans have really shortened their bench. We have not seen Marcel Gottsch. Here's a shot from the line by Morris. That was stopped by Kunist. Through the traffic, he got his pads together and stopped the shot. Offside call as Hines carries it in. Thomas Graylinger, another youngster at 19, has not seen much ice time as this game has progressed.
You see Sturm already in. Small items, but these things can really add up. As Germany gets that puck deep, they kill off another 15 or 20 seconds. One of the things Wayne Gretzky said in his press conference yesterday is he would love to see the Germans perform well in these World Championships, and he's getting his wish tonight.
Wayne Gretzky watching the new breed of Canadian players. This is a very young team. Here comes Marleau. Shot on the short side, save made. And it is held for the face-off. And we talk about the new Team Canada and Wayne Fleming trying to get his troops to fire one more and get this game tied up. A number of Canadians have been named best forward of this tournament, dating all the way back to Billy Warwick in 1955. And if you go to an Edmonton Oilers game, there's a good chance you'll run into Billy Warwick, and he'll tell you all about his escapades with Canadian hockey. Face-off is in the German zone. Brewer will have to backtrack. He'll leave it for Draper. Draper on the right side for Isbister. Now to Walls, back to Isbister on the backhand, scores! Brad Isbister, his second of the period, fifth of the tournament. Canada's even one more time. It's tied at 3.
Quick hands here. Draper hits the line with speed, and Wes Walls gets the pass from him, moves it up to Isbister very, very quickly. Look at Walls here. He's got the puck just for a split second and dumps it up. And Isbister, the right shot coming in, goes to his backhand this time. What a beauty.
You're watching Molson World Championship Hockey on The Score.
Select road. Validating tires.
What kind of road can you drive on with BF Goodrich tires?
Approved. Enjoy.
Any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
Here's to you, Canada. Here's to your hockey hair, your long underwear and multicolored money. Here's to saying please, your ducks and geese, and to always being funny. Here's to your pretty girls, your black-collared squirrels, and a flag that stands so free. Here's to different races from different places who love this country, like me. But most of all, here's to standing tall and saying it like a true Acadian. I love this land, I love this country, and I am Canadian. Cheers!
Raptors and Knicks last night. Antonio Davis had 14 as the Raptors win in 5. They'll take on the Sixers starting Sunday.
Canada has had to work a lot harder for its goals than what the Germans have. The first goal by Hines on the power play was a clean one, but after that, Hines banked one in off the arm of Wade Redden. And then in the third period, Marco Sturm chips one off Brewer's stick over top of Brathwaite's shoulder, and Brathwaite ended up knocking it in.
Well, this is such a different game when you're playing from behind against teams like Germany, Italy, Norway. These guys, when they have a lead of a goal or two, it's amazing how much energy they get from that lead. And we've seen that with the Germans. They've been absolutely outstanding for 55 minutes now because they got a lead in the first period.
They have played very, very well.
You bet.
Derek Morris. We talked about the adversity that Canada will face coming into this third period, down 2-0. Well, they bounced back pretty well. Here comes LeCavalier. It's on the crease area, almost to the goal line, and batted away as LeCavalier almost chipped one in. Morris for Redden. For Walker, cross ice looking for Rem Murray. That failed to click. Stewart. Canada will try it one more time. Rem Murray in front of the Team Canada bench tries to dig the puck free. Redden is there as well. Now LeCavalier steps into Sacchio. And Redden takes the puck for LeCavalier. Sails it in wide of the net off the backboards. Cleared away by Christian Kunist. Controlled in the corner, though. Canada with some pressure to the backboards for Walker. Gets tied up by Mayer. Renz has his man tied up. Battle continues. Puck comes loose, and it's grabbed off by Germany. Rink-wide pass. Across the line for Marco Sturm. Tried to get a backhander to the net and couldn't get it. As he was forced to the outside, we have an injured player in behind the play. And
well, I think I saw what happened.
Defenseman Renz. And the referee is over talking to the linesman.
Well, it looked to me like Lecavalier is getting the gate from Brad Bier. I think for butt ending, the German player Andreas Renz. Now, I can't lip read Swedish.
The door to the penalty box door, or the door to the Canadian penalty box is open. There is nothing up on the board yet. 3-3 tie. We have played 16:52 in the third period. And they may be throwing Lecavalier out. Ryan Smith still looking for more of an explanation. Yes, 5 minutes up on the board to Lecavalier.
So, once again, a 5-minute major. Lecavalier is ejected as we listen to the penalty description.
So there's Lecavalier making his way to the Team Canada dressing room.
And we'll see if we get a replay. Lecavalier does have a 5-minute penalty plus a game misconduct for butt ending. Now, couldn't see it. Lecavalier was coming back hard, and right in front of us, just to the right of the Canadian bench, put a real solid body check and then regrouped. I thought 31 go down, but couldn't see any other motion there. And as we talked about a number of only minutes ago, we see Brad Richards go to the penalty box and get turned away.
I'm not sure in international competition if you have to have somebody in the box or not, but there's really no advantage to have somebody in the box unless you have to, and you don't, as they have now closed the door.
The advantage is obviously you can use anybody to kill a penalty, but you have to have somebody in there. I think in this competition you can only score a 2-goal maximum on a 5-minute major, where in the National Hockey League you can score as many goals as you can in that time period.
Wayne Hines on the left side, carried in by Rumrick. He'll drop it back, but Draper is there, so Canada has its work cut out now. Short-handed for the rest of regulation time. Here's a lead pass for Draper. Long shot wide, rebound off the backboards, and it will be grabbed by Jan Benda. Benda parks in behind his own net. Power play for Germany. They have one power play goal in this game. That's from Wayne Hines. Hines has 2 goals on the night. Marco Sturm has the other.
Canada's come from behind 2-0 to 2-2 and then 3-2 to 3-3. Remember, Canada has scored 3 shorthanded goals so far in this tournament. And for a win this evening, that would be one solution. See Brathwaite kick out the left leg. Face off by Rem Murray right back to Jason Smith, and that'll kill off another 30 seconds. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this hockey game.
Power play, long pass on the left side. Here comes Sturm. He gets spun around at the line and falls. Back into the Canadian zone it goes. Jason Smith is after it. Jason Smith ties his man up. We're in the final 2 minutes in the third period. That's the announcement they make. It comes with 2 minutes left. Back to the line it goes to Ludeman. The shot is blocked in front. Sullivan a whack at it. Couldn't clear, but Walker will. Slows it down on the right side and clears it all the way back. And Ludeman will go back for it. 3-3 tie. Pass too far on the left side and cleared right back in by Stefan Robidas. Ludeman is after it. Draper gets there first, though. Great burst of speed by the veteran Chris Draper. Ties it up in the corner. Kills off valuable time. Germany decides to make a change, and here comes Jan Benda. On the right side, Benda feeds it through for Rumrick. Rumrick gets tied up in the corner, and the puck comes loose for Kyle McLaren. Kyle McLaren will take his time and then rips it off the far side glass and all the way down the ice just the way you're supposed to.
Good old-fashioned wrist shot. Only 50 seconds left.
Wall steals. Oh, he had Jason Smith coming in on the right side, but the pass was tipped outside the line, so Smith had to retreat.
Depending on what the referee Radbier saw on that penalty, this will go under review, and he will have the option of writing it up so as to have Lecavalier miss a game or perhaps not miss a game. So there will be some moments before Canada knows about the effect that it's going to have on Lecavalier.
There's a shot from a sharp angle. Brathwaite makes the save. Jason Smith with the puck. Under 15 seconds to go. Canada doing a tremendous job on the kill so far. Marco Sturm's pass is picked off by Rem Murray. Rem Murray will send it in, and this one is going to end in a 3-3 tie. And Jim, probably one of those games, now we've got a little bit of pushing and shoving, where both teams will come away happy with the final result.
Well, for sure Germany will. I don't know that Canada will be particularly happy with the result, other than that they managed to face some adversity and come back from a 2-0 deficit.
And 3-2.
And then 3-2. And to kill off a 5-minute major as well. So some good signs there, but Canada was a little bit disjointed throughout parts of this game. However, Germany, with a perfectly played script, boy, they got everything they could out of their hockey team and got a huge point, and the crowd just loved it.
So Canada remains undefeated as far as the tournament is concerned. They are 4-0-1. Now as far 5-0-1, but as far as this round is concerned, they are 4-0 or 3-0-1 because they eliminate the games against the two teams that did not make the next round.